Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you two commercial puff puff recipes, and I'm also going to be showing you how to make money using this recipe. So this puff puff business is nice whether you're into small chops business, or you're just a student, a stay-at-home mom, or you know someone looking to make extra money and you live in a busy area like a school area or a strategic point. This is a business you can easily start up and you can make extra cash daily. I mean daily from this, because it's fast selling, it's easy to make, it's also low capital. I'm going to show you how to make the recipe and the profit you can make from it, and other tips to get the best results while making puff puff. So without much ado, let's get started. So the first thing you are going to need to make puff puff in all the puff puff recipes is yeast. Now there is also a non-yeast puff puff recipe, but that one is not so profitable for commercial purpose, so we are going to be using yeast for this. So there are two types of yeast. We have the active dry yeast, which is the one I'm using. There is also instant yeast. That one you don't need to proof it first, but if you're using active dry yeast like the one I have here, you need to proof it first. But with time, I'll suggest when you start having bulk orders or things, you know, making sales on a daily basis, then you might need to get the instant yeast. It's a bit expensive, that's another thing, but it's still affordable, so that you will just make your puff puff mix and you won't have to proof anything. You just in the morning you mix up everything and fry and you are good to go. But instant yeast, the beauty about it is that it saves time of proofing your yeast first. So that's that for the yeast. Now another basic ingredient you're going to be needing is your flour, and after the flour, the sugar. Now for this recipe I'm going to be using 4 cups of flour, or 500 grams of flour. That's approximately 500 grams of flour. So these three things are what makes up the commercial recipe I'm going to be sharing with us, which is profitable: the yeast, the flour, and the sugar. You can add just a pinch of salt if you want. If not, you can go on ahead with just these three. So these three will give you what you want and also help you to make profit. So that's it for the first recipe. So I'm going to go on to proof my yeast, and for this 400 grams of flour I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of yeast and 1 tablespoon of sugar, and I'm going to be adding it to half cup of warm water. Make sure it's warm water that you are using. So we are going to add the yeast as seen, and then I'm going to go on to add my 1 tablespoon of sugar into the same mixture, and we are going to close this and set it aside for around 15 minutes thereabouts. Within 15 to 20 minutes it should be done proofing, and you are going to see it by the time we are done. So I'm going to just keep it aside and move on to mixing my dry ingredients. I'm just going to close this up so that it doesn't lose its action. If you are using yeast, make sure that any yeast you have is always in an airtight container. It helps it to maintain its effectiveness or its power, and that's how I store flavors too, so that they don't lose their fragrance or aroma and their taste. So I'm going to measure up 4 cups of flour into this bowl. I'm going to add, for 4 cups of flour I'm going to add 3/4 cup of sugar. Now you can make it 1 cup if you like it too sweet, but 3/4 cup is okay. And after that I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt to the recipe. So now these three things are the things that make up the basic puff puff recipe: your flour, your sugar, and your yeast. You can now add in your salt as optional. This is the basic one you need to make profit. Now this is the one you need to make profit, let's say for the wayside, like people are out on the wayside and they want to, you know, you want to sell at a junction or you want to take it to school. This is the three things you need. Now for, let's say, parties and other functions, or if you're into small chops business, this is when you can now decide to add other things like your nutmeg, your flavors, your milk flavors. Why you are doing it is that anything you use in making your puff puff counts. It counts. So because it's something that is not so costly by the roadside, is what you don't need to make your production cost so much. So I'm making this, I'm adding all these other ingredients you are seeing, and it's purely optional. So that's 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla powder flavor. I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of my vanilla flavor, the liquid one, but I'm going to add it later on. So this is just what you need to make your puff puff, and that's it, guys. You can see it is very low capital. It's not something that you need so much money to start or to do. I know a woman that sells this puff puff where I used to work, and guys, I can tell you, she just targets the busy days that we have and she sells it and she makes her money. And guys, I used to buy it because when you're hungry and you are not, you don't have your meal ready yet, or you didn't come to work with food yet, or you are yet to have your lunch, instead of staying hungry, these are the things that people might opt to get. So that's why I said, if you can make it as a student, or if you have a strategic junction, where people are always gathered or are always passing through, especially evening times, or school areas, this is where you can easily make your sales fast and get your money. I'm going to be showing you how I calculated my cost and the profit you can make from this. So guys, using this recipe, I was able to make 45 puff puffs. Meanwhile, guys, I'm happy to announce that our channel has met the requirements for monetization. I'm going to talk about that later on, so let's continue. So you can see now that our yeast have proofed, and so once it's proofed, I'm going to add this to my dry ingredients. Guys, this didn't take me up to 30 minutes to mix. What is 30 minutes? In the next 15 minutes, everything was already mixed out, and I just needed to allow this to just proof again, and I'm going to start frying. So it is what you can just get up in the morning and do. I'm saying this because this year, if you want to be making some extra money, there are many ways to make money, but if you like pastries, or if you are good in making all these things, this is a way you can cash out easily. Just make sure you have the markets around you, and you can start up small. Like this is just half kg of flour I'm using. By the time you do it again, you'll be able to make your profit, and you see if you continue or not. So that's that, guys. So once I've added my yeast, my proofed yeast, into the dry mixture, I'm going to mix it till I have a stretchy, not too watery consistency. So I'm going to be adding an extra 1 cup of water into the mixture, warm water, which we are going to be using to mix up the whole batter. So once I've mixed it up and I've got a stretchy, not too watery mixture, guys, let it not be too watery. You can use, add your water gradually. Even though you are using the same recipe, add your water gradually so that you not get a watery mixture. Why? Because yeast has a way of still making the batter a bit stretchy or a bit more, watery. So if you overrun your mixture, you are going to get a liquid mixture after your flour has proofed. So once this is done, I added my liquid flavor, which is for the second recipe, which all these things are optional, as I said, and I'm going to mix up everything and then allow it to proof for the next 30 to 45 minutes. So if you're in Nigeria, you can make it, you can just keep it in your kitchen or somewhere warm, and in the next 30 to 45 minutes it should be ready to go, guys, and you can see how it is. Another method you can use is that you can pour hot water into a bowl and just drop your batter on top of it and then leave it for 10 to 20 minutes. What the hot water does, it makes it faster, or makes it rise faster, so it's time. So if you're in a hurry, you can use this method. If not, leave it in a warm place and you are good to go, and everything will be proofed. So that's my mixture after proofing, and then I'm going to start adding it to my hot oil. Now I want to teach us how to add our puff puff into the mixture. It's better and it's good that you learn how to do this, so that you have, you know, your puff puff will come out nice and will not be shapeless, if you understand what I mean. So that's it. So I've tried a lot of methods, and this method works well for me. And what I do is that I scoop my batter into my hands, then I turn my hand to the right and allow just a small quantity to slip off, and that's that. So I'm going to just continue it and repeat it again. You have to scoop the batter first into your hand, like just scoop it in your hand, then you have to turn your hand in the opposite direction and allow it to drop in between your folded hands. As you are doing this, you know, as you are doing this, you are gauging the quantity you want. If you want a bigger mixture, like you want bigger puff puffs, then you have to drop bigger quantities. But if you want medium size, you have to be dropping smaller quantities. If you want smaller sizes, then it should be miniature sizes too, because once it enters the fire, it just poofs. So I think that's why part of the name is puff puff. It's just puffing everywhere. So that's it, guys. So as you put it in the fire, make sure you start turning gently so that everything will get cooked evenly under low to medium heat. And once you are done, guys, once it's golden brown, as you can see, you just start bringing it out of the fire. Hope you like what you are seeing, guys. So that's it. So I was able to make up to 45 pieces of puff puff in total from just this cups of flour, and you can see how fluffy and bouncy it is, like how bouncy it is. So it is not dense, it's just okay. So if you are going to make for higher quantities, I'm going to be adding the quantities of flour you'll be needing, the recipe in the description box below. If you want to make 100 pieces, 200 pieces, I'm going to be adding it. Remember, you can get higher or lower quantities from this same recipe depending on how you scoop. Important you make just medium scoops, not too small, not too big scoops into your fire. And that's it, guys. Looking beautiful, looking yummy. So guys, let's go on to calculate the cost of what it takes to produce this particular batch of puff puff using the commercial recipe as listed before, and let's say it's a party puff puff recipe that we made as I did here. So using the commercial recipe, that I'll calculate just my yeast, sugar and my flour. Now it's important to always add label. It is your work you put in making it. Some people miss it out. Even if you make other profit at the end of the day, always calculate your labor, so that in case you are paying somebody to do the work for you, you will see what to pay the same from, aside from the profit you make at the end of the day. So having done that, the sum total gave me 3,850 naira. So if I'm going to sell this puff puff for 100 naira, because what the size of puff puff is sold for now, because of the inflation in this our country, God will help us. So what you get is that what I have at the end of the day as my profit will be 4,500 minus 1,850 naira, and that will give me 600 naira. So that's my profit at the end of the day. Now my labor, that is going to give me 1,150 naira. So at the end of the day of selling just this, you can make up to this amount for sure. Now depending on your location, the prices of your ingredients might vary, but this gives estimate of what you can get. So that's how profitable this can. Now let's calculate for that of the party puff puff. So the total cost of the puff puff gave me 4,100 naira, and it's puff that I made in this video. But if you want to make street or roadside, you can use the first fee I dropped, so that you make maximum profit. You can see that the profit I made from this is 400 naira. In addition to my labor, that gave me 900 naira as my take home. So you can use this puff puff, this party puff puff recipe for your small chops. So you can also package it and sell as seen about the ones I've made in the past. Depending on your customer's choice, variety, you can introduce it to them so that they can bulk. Depending, you know, these are the ways you can market off so that you can make sales. So guys, the end of this video, but before I round up, I'll come back to this very important myth, and that is that we've met the requirements for monetization in this channel. And I want to say to you all that liked my video, shared it, and subscribed. Thank you so much, guys. Take it for granted. So what that means is that you can support my channel in one order. You can use the super thanks button on it. You can join my membership month. I plan on making videos, exclusive video. My membership, you are going to benefit a lot from it. If changing classes, I've brought it to my membership so that you don't need to leave this platform. You can have your training here, watch my video, and then my behind the scene videos for better understanding. So that's that, guys. Any questions, let me know in the comment section. For watching, subscribe, like. Don't forget to like this video. It means you understood what it was all about. All well to check out other videos I've made, potato chips and other videos. Please do well to check them out. Help you. I really want us to gain a skill this year, help you, start earning money in one way or the other. Support yourself as a student, single individual, at home person, so that you don't stay idle. It will help you too. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in this video. Bye.